So one of my favorite newer YouTubers, Jenny Nicholson, recently made a video talking a whole bunch of smack about the movie Tomorrowland that came out a couple years ago. And it made me realize that there's probably a lot of people out there who didn't really get the same message out of the movie that I did. But before I get started on why I like it, I do have to admit that it does come with a lot of problems. It's like the writers of the movie wanted to tell three different stories for three separate characters and somehow tried to smush them all into one thing. They didn't know which one they really wanted to tell. I mean, one part of the movie is this young, inventive kid who discovers Tomorrowland in an alternate dimension, and it's this beautiful scientific kind of utopia. And then it cuts away, and all of a sudden it's many, many years later, and we're with a new young, inventive kid, our main character, I guess, Casey. And she's got to rediscover Tomorrowland, only now it's a dystopia, and everything's ruined, and everything's sad, and it's bad. And then as a third focus, there's the old George Clooney character, who's actually the young boy from many years previously. But he's got this, like, weird romance with a robot that looks like she's, 8. So, it's a bit weird. Like, one of those would probably have been enough for a whole movie. So if I were writing it, I'd probably start the whole story with Casey, after Tomorrowland's kind of become this dilapidated dystopia, and it'd kind of be this mystery movie about figuring out what happened and how to fix it, which obviously is one of the tracks the movie goes on, but it gets all messed up with its other two stories it's trying to tell as well. That's what it really lacks in terms of plot, is like a distinct focus on anything. That's why, obviously, it copped a lot of criticism. But we got what we got, and so why do I love it despite all of these kind of very big flaws throughout the whole story? Well, it's because of its themes and its message. See, at the end of the movie, pretty much all the characters reach Tomorrowland, and they have to blow up this big broadcast tower that's shooting off these kind of negative vibes to the Earth. And that negative vibing is kind of somehow driving everyone on Earth towards this apocalyptic climate change slash nuclear slash everything is destroyed and everyone is sad future. And so it turns out that this broadcast had been started by the bad guy of the movie, Governor Nix. He wanted to send this negative message so everyone would be like, oh, let's fix it. But then he saw that pretty much everyone on Earth was just like, okay, things are shit, so we'll just go to this faster. The more he broadcasted this kind of negative message, the more they headed towards this negative future. And so he's like, yeah, that's fine. Let them all die. They deserve it for being so negative, even though it's kind of my fault for having this tower on. Like I said, the plot has a few problems. But so anyway, our heroes blow it up, and Casey starts leading Tomorrowland because she's this bright, kind of hopeful teenager, and she doesn't just want to be like, oh, the world is terrible, but she's, really hopeful, and she wants to fix the world's problems. And so a lot of people interpreted this, apparently, as Tomorrowland telling them, oh, you shouldn't watch dark dystopian movies, you shouldn't read grim literature, that's why the world's a terrible place. And they thought it was saying, just do cool stuff and build cool things, because that's how you save the world. But it's not about telling everyone to just ignore their problems and just be happy-go-lucky inventors until the world blows up because we've been ignoring all the problems. And it's definitely not about telling you to stop consuming, like, darker media. If anything, it's a dystopian movie. It's a dystopia, so why would it be telling you stop reading dystopian stuff or watching dystopian movies? It's about how a lot of society, especially the news, focuses only on the problems. And then there's also politicians. It's no coincidence that the main villain of the movie is a governor. Governor Nix and politicians like him sit on their tall podiums kind of spouting fear. They say the problems of the world are all because of this outside group causing all these terrible things to happen. And they say the only way to make America, Tomorrowland, great again, is to shut those people out, build a wall around it, and let the people outside of it burn. And Tomorrowland is an apt metaphor for that because it's literally in a pocket dimension somewhere else. So if the Earth gets destroyed, everyone there is fine. It's the ultimate metaphor of choosing not to help the world because you believe you'll be just fine in your walled-off country. And that's why the scene of Casey in school from the beginning of the movie is so important.
Once considered fiction, these futuristic novels are actually happening right now, and they seem to be getting worse. Yes, Miss Newton.
Can we fix it?
Sorry?
I get things are bad, but what are we doing to fix it?
Casey isn't about ignoring the problems. She knows they're happening, but she believes that people can work together to fix them. And that's what the end of the movie is about. It's a recruiting scene where all these people, artists, scientists from around the world, go to Tomorrowland to solve the problems and to save the world. They're all people with a similar mindset, dreamers who believe that their inventions and their ideas can make the world a better place for everyone. And I think that's an amazing message, and that's why I think everyone should give Tomorrowland another chance. There's not many movies out there that kind of give that hopeful message for the current state of the world. That's why I like it anyway. And you know, bright side to the world now having a Governor Nix Trump running around is that it's encouraging people to actually get out there and participate, to be like Casey and the people she recruits at the end of the movie. Whether it's lawyers in airports, or the leaders of countries promising to fund human and civil rights, or the millions of people around the world who are marching for science, for women, and for refugees. Now more than ever, it looks like Tomorrowland was right. If we work together, there's nothing in the world we can't achieve.